Hello everybody. How are you today? Are you happy? We hope so. Welcome to the second session of English World for Grade 6. Are you ready for part 2? Let's start and see. The objective of today's session is to revise some grammar points. Please kindly open your student book, page 14. Do you remember how to use since or for? We use both of them when we talk in present perfect tense. Let's read these two sentences. Can you notice the difference? Focus. I have been living in Spain for 6 years. Here we talk about a duration of time. But the second one, I have been living in Spain since 2012. This is a starting point. Perfect. And here is a comparison between since and for. For plus period of time, number, time word. When we measure the duration of something or how long it lasts, it has a start point and an end point, and it can be used in different tenses. I studied English in Ireland for 2 years, or I will be there for around 2 months, or we have been married for 16 years. But for since, it's followed by a starting point, maybe a time or a date. When something started in the past and continues until now, since is mostly used in the present perfect and perfect progressive tense. For example, he hasn't eaten since 7 o'clock. Or, I have been working here since June. Or, we have been married since 2002. And here are some examples. You can read it and you can make your own sentences using for or since. It's on page 14. Exercise A. Complete the sentences with for or since. Number 1. They have lived in France, space, 3 years. 3 years here, is it a duration or a specific time? Great, it's a duration. So here we will use for 3 years. Well done. Number 2. Joe has been asleep, space, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock here is a specific time. So we will write since 10 o'clock. Well done. Number 3. Mrs. Lee has taught in this school, space, last September. Since, because, here is a month. Number 4. Jenny has studied Spanish, space, 6 months. Here, 6 months is a duration, so we will use what? For. Great. Let's move to the next point. How to advise, or how to tell someone that an action is obligatory or not allowed in different ways. For example, if you are talking about a law or an external obligation, you can use have to. You have to follow the rules. If it's a personal obligation, you can use must. You must obey your parents. If there is a strong recommendation, you can use both of them. For example, you must try McDonald's French fries. If there is no obligation, you can use don't have to. You don't have to tell me everything about your family. No need. If something is prohibited, or you can use mustn't. You mustn't drive a car without a license. For advice, you can use should or ought to. Ought to. You should study hard. It's better for you, not for me. Let's practice. Page 15. Exercise letter B. Answer the questions. Number 1. You don't understand your homework. What should you do? I should ask my teacher. Number 2. Your mother has a headache. What must you do? I must be quiet. Don't be noisy. Number 3. Your shoes are dirty. What ought you to do? I ought to clean them. Number 4. Your hands are dirty. What do you need to do before lunch? I need to wash them. Used to. We use it to talk about something in the past that is not taking place anymore. Used to plus base form of the verb. Don't forget, it's followed by an infinitive. With did or didn't, we just write used to. Don't forget that the pronunciation is the same for used to and used to. 16. Exercise letter A. Rewrite the sentences using used to. Jane had a cat when she was little. Now she doesn't. Jane used to what? Used to had or used to have a cat when she was little. Number 2. Grandpa was a pilot years ago. Now he isn't. Grandpa used to be a pilot years ago. Number 3. Aunt Lucy ate meat but not anymore. Aunt Lucy used to eat meat but not anymore. Number 4. Mr. Jones went to work on foot, but now he drives there. Mr. Jones used to go to work on foot, but now he drives there. We studied before how to make a sentence in present simple passive, and now it's time to learn how to make a similar one, but in the past simple tense. Here you can see on the left the active voice. We use second form of the verb. On the right, you can see the passive voice. We use was or were plus third form of the verb or past participle. Was or were. Was if it's singular noun, were if it is. Sorry, raise your voice. Were for singular or plural? Plural, great. Let's check the example. Number 1. Girl clicked selfie. Selfie was clicked by a girl. Number 2. Girls clicked selfie. Selfie was clicked by girls. Number 3. Girls clicked selfies. Number 3. Selfies were clicked by girls. Well done. Exercise on page 17. Letter B. Make these sentences passive. Number 1. They built a bridge over the river. A bridge here Singular or plural? Singular. So we will use a bridge was or where. Where? Are you sure? Was. Right. Was built over the river. Number two, Joe's sister made this cake. This cake was made by Joe's sister. Number three, someone took my camera. My camera was taken by somebody. Taken here, the third form of the verb. Take, took, taken. Number four, an excellent teacher taught our class. Our class was taught by an excellent teacher. Thank you. There are many verbs which are followed by gerund. Gerund means the verb plus ing. Here we have mind, enjoy, like, dislike, love, look forward to, interested in. Exercise letter A. Complete the sentence with the verbs in the books. Swim, learn, close, and go. Number 1. Would you mind space the window? Mind must be followed by a gerund. What should we do to the window? Swim, learn, close, go. Close. Would you mind close or closing? Closing the window. Well done. Number 2. I'm looking forward to what? For on holiday. I'm looking forward to going on holiday. Number 3. The boys enjoy what? Swimming in the sea. Number 4. Susie is very interested in learning Italian. If conditional number 2. Here is the form. If plus simple past. Main clause with conditional I. Would plus infinitive. Example. If I found her address, I would send her an invitation. The first part is in the past, and the second part would plus infinitive. The main clause can also be at the beginning of the sentence. In this case, don't use a comma. For example, I would send her an invitation if I found her address. Here, we omitted or removed the comma. The question here is, when should I use the second conditional of if? Conditional sentence type 2 refer to situations in the present. An action could happen if the present situation was different. I don't really expect the situation to change. However, I just imagine what would happen if. For example, if I found her address, I would send her an invitation. So, now I'm just imagining. I would like to send an invitation to a friend. I have looked everywhere for her address, but I cannot find it. So now I think it's rather unlikely that I will eventually find her address. Another example, if John had the money, he would buy a Ferrari. I know John very well, and I know that he doesn't have much money, but he loves Ferraris. He would like to own a Ferrari in his dreams, but I think it's very unlikely that he will have the money to buy one in the near future. John doesn't have money. Page 19. Exercise B. Complete the sentences with the verbs in brackets. Number 1. Joe doesn't work hard. If he space harder, he space his exams. So, if he, if is followed by past simple, right? If he studied harder, what would happen? He would pass his exams. Number 2. I haven't got much money. If I more money, I some CDs. So the past simple of have is had. If I had more money, what would I do? I would buy some CDs. Number 3. Joe always gets to school late. His teacher space pleased if he space to school on time. So focus. Here if is in the middle of the sentence. We removed or omitted the comma, but we have to follow it with what? Past or would? Past. So the second part will be past, and the first one would plus infinitive. His teacher would be pleased if he got to school on time. Number 4. The Carter family don't live in France. The children, perfect, would speak French if they lived in France. Well done. Okay, less versus fewer. We use less when we talk about uncountable things. For example, I earned less money than last year. Example number 2, you must eat less sugar. Sugar here and money, they are uncountable nouns. For fewer, we use it when we talk about countable things. For example, he has fewer tasks than you. Or they used to have fewer problems. Remember, little, less than when we compare between two things, the least when we compare between one thing and many things, few, fewer than, the fewest. Page 20, exercise letter A. Complete the sentence with one of the words in brackets. Number 1. Mr. Smash ate space sandwiches than super boots. Fewer or less? Okay, sandwiches here, countable or uncountable? Great, countable. We can count sandwiches. I ate 2 sandwiches. So we will choose fewer sandwiches. Perfect. Number 2, Miss Sparkle drank juice than Mr. Flash. Juice here is countable or uncountable? Can you count the juice? No, I don't think so. So the answer will be less juice than Mr. Flash. Number 3, Super Boots ate the fruit. Least fruit. Perfect. Number 4, Miss Swift ate the fused cakes because cakes here are uncountable or countable. Speak up. Great, cakes are countable. Perfect. The last exercise on page 21, exercise B, make one sentence, use which or that. Number 1. We ate all the cakes. They were on the plate. So, we want to connect between the two sentences. We ate all the cakes which or that were on the plate. Number 2. The children loved the songs. Grandma sang them. The children loved the songs which or that grandma sang. Number 3. The stories were funny. Grandpa told them. Oh, do it yourself. You can do it. Thank you, my dear students. That was the end of part 2, Welcome Unit. See you next time. Bye bye.